Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Tonight we are going over not the latest episode, guys. This is our journey rewatching The Wire season 5, episode number 6. Okay, and that episode is called the Dickensian Aspect. I actually meant to do my homework on what that actually means so I could come to you guys, fully loaded, but I got busy. Today's my dad's birthday, so I had to go celebrate. Thank God for another year for him. And so I'm sorry that I forgot. Okay. Now, as you guys, as you guys can see, the quote of the episode is going across the screen. If you have a problem with this, I understand completely. That is from Freeman, and we will talk about that when we get there. Okay. What's up to Rashonda Greer, Tina, Demarcus Vaughn, Tamika White, Daria, Shanice Millette, hi Savannah, and Renee Hicks, Eric S., Marlon Easton. Thank you so much for being here. As usual, guys, we are making ground. Before we know it, we've been doing The Wire twice a week. Before we know it, guys, it's going to be over. What do? I'll tell you what we do. We move on to Breaking Bad, okay? I've been promising you guys, and that's what we're going to do, all right? Let me bring in my company, my girl, my partner in crime, Moochie the Hammer. Hi, Moochie
Hey, what's up? Ew.
Scoochie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So this was a pretty interesting episode. I was like,
Mhm,
wow, there's a lot going on here. It just really piqued my interest for some reason. Like there was a moment. I think it had a lot to do with McNulty too. A lot of times with stuff goes on with him, I just be like, it's just McNulty. But it was just for some reason with this episode, it was just like, wow, like I just felt like my interest just turned up for some reason. All right. So, what's up, Renee Hicks? Did I say hi? Did I say hi to you and Marlon Easton? Okay, guys. So let's get into it. All right. As we can see, they are still looking, right? Marlo and his crew, they're out looking for Omar everywhere, okay? I mean, vacants, dumpsters, and even sewers, okay?
mhm.
Monk even dressed up as he impersonated a police officer, okay? Looking look at his tie, look at
Dressing
his
like
tie.
a detective.
And Snoop was checking the hospital. So he's like Monk is checking like neighbors and things like that. Snoop was checking the hospital, trying to act like he was Omar was her brother and everything. So you could see that she was checking him off, like she already had been to like 6 other ones. All
Mhm,
right, and so then we have Marlo who wanted to meet up, and he comes to the scene where Omar jumped off of the balcony, and he cannot believe it. He's like, "This seems impossible. That's some Spider-Man ish right there. Like, what the heck is going on?" And he's looking at Chris for an explanation, and Chris is just like, "Yeah, like this is what happened. Like, like the answer's not going to change. Like." The guy jumped out the freaking not the window, but jumped off the balcony, and he's not here. Like, what the heck you want from me? You can see the situation really like irked Chris a lot, and especially in from the very beginning, we saw when Marlo said that he wanted to meet, he kind of slammed down the trunk and everything. And I see his frustration too, is because they can't find this guy, and at the same time, he had to like say bye to his family because of this whole
mhm.
thing. So I starting to realize that that's why he was really frustrated about this. Like it really means a lot to him, especially to find Omar. Um, so now Marlo tells him, "Oh, so we missed our shot. Now he gonna be coming at us," as if Omar wasn't already coming. He wasn't. He was already coming at you. You're the one who pulled him out of hiding with your stupid stuff. What would you think about that, Moochie? That stupid comment.
I don't. It was just the things that the cockiness of them is just really starting to piss me off.
Mm.
Marlo got on my nerves this whole episode.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know we gonna
He's
talk about
such a
that.
jerk.
He is really a jerk. By the way, so I think in the next scene we see Nick from season 2 down at the docks, right? While
Mhm,
Carcetti is making some type of announcement that they're gonna be revitalizing the waterfront. And I was like, and the one guy he was like, F you, check or whatever. And then And then they was like, Carcetti was like, who is that? You know, he's like, oh, no one at all. So my thing was, I thought that he kind of went into some type of witness protection or something like that.
Yeah, but remember at the end he left?
Yeah, he walked away, and I was
Yeah,
afraid
he
for his
walked
life when he
away
did.
from it. Yeah.
And I didn't think that he walked away from it. I thought that he just was like out in the street for some reason. I don't know, because I was like, why are you
Remember he
outside? Like,
told the girl if I remember when he left the hotel, he told the girlfriend,
uh-huh.
if I can't be safe in my own town, I can't be safe anywhere.
Mm. Yeah, because I was like, why? What is
He
he
said
doing?
something like that. And then
Okay.
you saw him walk along the dock.
I was he was walking along. Yeah, that I thought I saw him walking on the street, you know, but regardless, it was
Mm-hmm.
scary because I thought somebody was about to come up alongside him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So guys, now we finally see where Omar is. I mean, this guy, he was right under their noses. So you know, he's been hiding out in this like supply closet where his ankle is all jacked up, right? But he
Mm-hmm.
secures it with like, I think like a t-shirt or something like that, and he uses a broom as his crutch. Now, in this scene, we also see him crying. And for me, like, I wasn't really sure, like, are you crying from pain or is it because he's sad? So I would say that I think it's because he's sad. Like, you know, a lot of stuff is hitting
I
him.
say
Butchie died.
pain. It might be broken.
Yeah, but, you know, men don't always cry for, I mean, they do cry for pain. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I know they be the biggest babies ever. But
Mhm.
I've seen some men be in pain and not cry. So I was thinking that
He
it could
is
be a
emotional over Butchie
yeah.
though.
So I was thinking that it could be a mixture, like it's painful, and then also the butchy situation and that dude. So he's like out here because at least when he was with the guy, you know, he had company. He's talking,
Mm-hmm.
probably helps not really keep his mind off things, but you know, not really. But when you're alone, that's a whole different monster. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely pain. I know, like I said, I know men be crying, but you know,
He did
this
have his boy when they was staking it out, listening to music and stuff all that time.
yeah, and remember, this is the same guy that when he doesn't want to cry, we've seen him burn himself with cigarettes.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's why I was looking at it like, is he crying for pain or is he crying because he's emotional? And I kind of, you know, leaned more toward the emotional side because if you could burn yourself with some cigarettes, and I feel like you got a higher pain tolerance,
Mm-hmm.
but I could be wrong. And plus, you know, sometimes on movies, they don't, not movies, sometimes on shows, they don't really show us the guys really crying too much. Even when they get shot, they just be like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, making all this noise, you know. So anyway, so when he comes out, Moochie, we see that he's coming right out of the building that he jumped off of. He jumped off of, right? So
Right.
it's like they didn't bother to look right under their noses. I mean, like right in that area, I can't even speak in that vicinity, that wherever he was, that's exactly where they didn't look. I mean, that's what it's looking
Mm-hmm.
like to me. So,
You
now,
know what I thought about with this? You remember when JJ hid in Good Times when that place got busted and he was in the closet with the brooms? I don't know why I thought about that, but I thought about that scene.
I probably didn't see it. You
Cause
know, I probably didn't
like
see that.
they really looked for him, but they just didn't find
They
him.
just didn't find it. Right. So because it did, you know why I was saying that right under, because they really did. They looked all over the place, but it didn't seem like they looked in that building. I know that they were in the building.
Hmm.
But the place that they were looking, it was like dark. It looked like vacants. That Chris, remember when Chris was
Remember, they
looking around?
couldn't look that long because the cops came.
Right. Remember when Chris was looking around and it was kind of dark and stuff like that, and it, you
Hmm.
know, all terror. It looked really, you know, looked like an abandoned place that he was looking in. He had his gun, you know, this and that. It didn't look like that was a condo that he was in. So I just feel like
Right.
they just totally was like, that normally is the place to hide, the place that you know, you probably ran from. You go back, you double back. Remember how I know you're going to what's the Good Times, I'm gonna go to Game of Thrones. Remember when the boys, when they left Winterfell, they snuck out, and then
Hmm.
Theon had all his people looking for them, and what did they do? They doubled back and came right back to the castle. and that's where
Mhm.
they was the safest. Nobody was even looking for them there. So
Right.
yeah, but that's something now. But this puts him in a bad position because he's a lone wolf and he's injured. He's crippled. So that's a shame, isn't it? Eric S says he loves good times. You should do a podcast. You should do podcast reviews on that show. That's for you, Moochie. Right now. So the homeless deletions, guys, they're getting like national press. Like this is insane. To know that this is a whole lie and to be getting all this press is just crazy to me. I'm embarrassed. Like for you know how you could be embarrassed for somebody?
Yeah.
Like I'm embarrassed for this whole situation because it's just a lie and it's almost like, oh my gosh, if this gets uncovered, whoo, this is trouble. Okay. So like I said, they want this is national coverage now, right? And so, of course, the higher ups are just all up Scott's rear end, like, oh, that was a good story, Scott, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And now they want him to take the lead, right? And go in front of the cameras because the cameras are asking me, everybody's asking, right? And
Mhm.
Scott tells his bosses that because they were like, what do you plan on doing? What else do you plan on doing? This guy ain't had no other plan. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like,
Mm-mm.
oh, I plan on spending the night with the homeless, like trying to basically say, kind of get like a day in the life or some crap like that. And so now one of the bosses goes over to Gus and says, we're going to forget about the school system stuff and we're just going to focus on the homeless now. Like not just about the deletions, but we're just going to really just focus on them and their lives and all of this crap. And Scott's going to take the lead. And of course, like you said, Moochie, Gus is looking at it like, oh my gosh, not Scott,
Yeah.
anybody but him. But it don't matter, right? Mm. I don't know if you wanted to add, but we're going to get back
You
to
know
Scott.
what I? Oh no, because I don't want to go too far ahead. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stay right here.
Okay. All right. This thing keeps on acting up. Hold on. Now, this is where we get the quote of the episode, right? So Freeman is telling Sidner that he's running an illegal wiretap on Marlo Stansfield. And this is when he says, if you have a problem with this, I understand completely. You need to get as far away from me as freaking possible, right? But Sidner, he wants in. You see, when whatchamacallit goes and closes that door, he walks away with his bow legged behind and goes in and closes that door. He goes and
Yeah.
closes the door. Sidner walks up and goes right in behind him. Like Sidner is listen, he's tired as well. So he's down. All right. But later on, he's looking at it like, come on now, because you know, we hear Freeman telling him because Sidner's like, what are you mean to tell me that they're just talking BS? You don't hear nothing going on. So Freeman tells him that there are calls where no one is saying anything and he just has to figure it out because he feels like there's something there. He just doesn't know what yet, right? And
Mhm.
so because he's like, I want to go to jail for something more than just, listening to folks order lunch. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
Like it needs to be worth it. What did you think about this scene, Mooch, especially about Sidner, just being down with the whole thing?
sitting us down for it because they've been chasing Marlo for so long, and the
Mm-hmm.
rest of these other drug dealers, where they feel like they always getting away and slipping
Right.
away. They tired of it.
I don't blame none of them. I really don't. So guys, we finally hear about Prop Joe's death, okay? And like there's a file that's brought to Bunk. It's by I think Holly brings him the file, and
Mhm.
it's a file of sealed indictments, which was found in Prop Joe's store, his shop. And they're like, "Yo, who don't we trust down at the courts, right?" So we got to figure that out. But I just feel like this is some type of Pandora's box. I don't even want to touch it. I just want to wait to find out what the heck this is all about because I'm actually excited to see what this is because they're clearly not going to bring this up. But he did mention this is the same. This at least one of the files he had mentioned this to Marlo, right, Moochie?
Mm-hmm.
Joe, and he was like, he had all his folks down there, laying it out. This is kind of what he used to reel him into the co-op. So I do know about that, but I just find it funny that they found all of this, and this is something that I hope that they can definitely use
Well,
for
keep
show.
in mind, you remember, this is how he, like you said, this is just how Pop Joe reeled
Mm-hmm.
Marlo in, saying that he could get court documents.
Right.
So, we know he had the papers,
Right.
and
We just
he didn't let Marlo keep them. He
right.
just showed it to him,
Mm-hmm.
showed him what he had access to. So now they gonna try to probably investigate
Of
this to see
course.
where it came from.
Marlo was stupid. It's like he didn't think about this part right here. That's how
No,
I'm
this is what I'm talking about. He
yeah.
didn't think of. He's so smart that he's stupid. And remember,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first thing that Pop Joe said. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
take a lot to civilize this
This
fool.
mother love, yeah, it ain't easy civilizing him. It's not.
Exactly. And he's
So
not. He's not this. He all he know is KI double hockey sticks. That's all
mm-hmm.
he know. KI
That
double hockey sticks. The
yep.
M game. He strategizes that way. But as far as the long game, he don't got the long game. And I feel like if it wasn't for Chris, he wouldn't even survive this long.
No, not at all. Please. Not at all. All right, guys. So Carcetti addresses the homeless Merkings, right? In front of the media, right? He promises to handle the situation. Then Rawls gets on and tells them that they have investigators working around the clock. All right. And when they asked Rawls if they would be getting help from the FBI, Rawls hands the question over to Daniels to answer. I was like, really? But Daniels did a daggone good job of answering these questions. Okay. Now, after the fact, Rawls is really thinking that Carcetti was serious about the promises and what he was saying, but Rawls tells Daniels that oh, you did good, you're a natural, and all this stuff, but we can only give you a detective or two. So even after what Carcetti said, nothing is really changing. So what did you have
Mm-mm.
to say about this, Moochie, with all of this garbage that took place? This
First
big
of all,
old
the
this
Chris.
this big old speech that he made. I mean, the speech was daggone good, and it was kind of passive aggressive too. Remember when
It
he
was like
he was like, you guys like
Getty
to
got
come
on his
around." Yeah,
soapbox and was like
he was like, you guys
shouting
like
it
to come
out.
around. You guys like to come around when all the negative stuff runs, but where are you when we're doing
Yeah.
the good work? Like, he kind of got in their behinds before he really dug deep, but it was a really
Mm-hmm.
good speech. But it was like, Dad, you're still not doing anything. So I'm
And
sorry.
you
Go
know
ahead.
what else it showed me in this scene?
Hmm.
That Daniels is smarter than Raw.
Of course, yes, absolutely,
He
yes.
mentioned how they're gonna have somebody doing studying behavioral, like their behavior patterns, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
they do with serial killers. So he
Yep.
was on it. He had the perfect speech, like you said.
Yes. And did you see on the sideline, Carcetti was looking at him. He was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
He's been impressed though with him, which is why he's been like backing him because he's always been impressed with him. But I feel bad for Daniels because he's disappointed because he's over here like, but Carcetti said, no, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, Carcetti has turned out to be, even though he didn't want to, and it's not all the way his fault. He really meant well, but he's turned out to be a regular old lying politician. It seems right because he can't
Mm-hmm.
do. It's not like he just can't do anything. Like it's a daggone
They
shame.
don't even know the half. Like
Yeah.
he's it's not really on him. He wanna help,
Right.
but he messed himself up though. This is all
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't take the money. Everything trickled
Yeah.
down.
But at the same time, see, he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. Because
No, he was worried about how he was gonna look to everybody because he didn't want to I guess kiss the
That
governors behind.
yeah,
Remember that was his
but that
biggest
was but
thing.
that's the thing, damned if that what I mean with damned if he did and damned if he didn't, because
Right.
he knew that that's what the governor was gonna use that to basically discredit him and make him
Mhm.
look like he was incompetent and say I had to come save him and this, that, and the third, because he knew that Carcetti was coming for his seat. So that was his leverage that he was gonna use against Carcetti. Like I had to save him. So he's not about to push me out, you know what I'm saying? When I'm the one that had to come to his rescue to save his city. So that
Right.
it wasn't gonna either way. It was just a bad deal for him. It really was. It
I
was a bad
agree.
either way. He was failing because of whatever Royce did. How Royce made the doodoo fall right back on him, and then on top of that, because the governor knew he was gonna come for his seat,
Mhm.
that whole situation didn't work. So, that's why you ain't supposed to be letting people know your plans. If you're gonna be a mayor, and I remember they said this sometime, I think in this season, it was like, how is this guy? He's only been the mayor for a year and he's already like trying to plan to run for governor. It's like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
one
that's
bite
what
at a
I never
time.
understood about that.
Yeah.
Because you don't even have the whole ins and outs of how Baltimore is ran,
Hmm.
and you're already talking about the next 4 years. You should
Right.
what you should have did was try to rock out in this for 2 terms and then
Exact.
go for the governor.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anywho.
And then he would have been better off, I think. But he was just like too like overzealous and stuff like that, trying to bite off more than he
Mhm.
could chew.
Mhm.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. All right, guys, look who is in the building. It's Randy. Poor baby. So Bunk goes to the group home to see Randy, right? And he tries to intimidate Randy to get him to tell him what he knows about Lex's deletion. But Randy wasn't falling for it, okay? He not the same old little naive, soft kid that he was before.
Mhm.
He says to Bunk, "Why don't you promise to get me out of here? That's what y'all do, right? Lot of dumb niggas." I was like, poor Randy. You see, they done put this kid through so much that he had to just toughen up, and this is how it is.
Mhm.
So,
I won't even say it was all because of her. It was all because of that other guy that was mad at Bunk that didn't
mm-hmm.
take the message.
Right, yeah, yep.
So yeah, it was. This is another thing with a trickle down effect.
And you know what? Another thing you got to learn from that too is that you can't leave messages, and if you do, you gotta go check to make sure the person got it, because
Yeah,
Carver let it be known that this was a very delicate case, a very delicate
situation. Yeah,
situation,
he
and
he should have
so
went down there himself with that. I
yeah, you
always
need
thought that.
that's a face-to-face type of situation. Or
Mm,
if you can't get a hold of that person, don't leave no messages. You need to make sure that you get in contact with that person. So yeah, there's a
mm-hmm.
lot of ball dropping going on, child. Lots of ball dropping.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he leaves out I'm saying Bubs, Bunk, everybody. Bunk is stumped when this boy says that. Why don't you help get me at it, because Bunk thinks that he can use his regular old tactics that he's been using. We saw how they did at the beginning of this season with those two kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't working on him. Like, no, I'm not, can't help you. Like, I've been lied to and all of that. I'm what you gonna lock me up? I'm gonna do time, like he was just calling his bluff. And when he got out, it's we saw him pushing the kid and everything. Oh, and then say, "Y'all better get this cop out of my face," and all that. For what did he
Yeah,
say?
but look at the little kid he was pushing though.
Exactly.
Come
I'm like, you
on.
became a bully. I guess. See, but that's the thing. That's what they do. They're like bullies. When he first showed up, I think that's what it was like. Some bullying stuff going on. But anyway, it's just sad. So Kima, she drops her Triple H off on to Bunk because she finds out that Marlo has something to do with it, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
word on the street is that somebody said something nasty about Marlo, and boom, he didn't appreciate it, right? And so he done went and deleted his muscle, the guy and the girlfriend, right? Left the kids. So when Kima asked where Bunk was at with the rest of his M's, Bunk tells her that he can't find the lab work on 14 of the bodies, right? So they go down to the lab and they find out that look at this guy's face. They find out that a hired temp screwed up the lab work because she didn't know what at all meant. Okay, but not only that, guys, it's really because of the cutbacks. Like this is a another trickle down of the cutbacks, which is so freaking crazy because it's like, yo, the cutbacks didn't just affect the cops in the schools or whatever. Like it really affects everybody's job here, even the labs. Like it's like, oh my goodness. So now they don't know what scene any of the lab work came from, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So for me with this situation, I'm like, with the temp, it's like whenever I'm on a job and I don't know what's going on, I don't care how much I annoy you, I'm not messing nothing up. So I'm gonna be asking you questions. I'm not about
Right.
to just take something important and be like, yeah, sure, let me just throw this over here. This is evidence from a scene. You cannot be careless like that with it. She should have got fired on the spot. I'm sorry. Moochie, what did you have to say about this?
I thought that because of the cutbacks, everything's messed up. But yeah, they should have been mad at this girl. And then they show, you know how they pan the camera over to her? And you should have, and the way Bunk's face was like, like the help that we have now for the things that we need, the incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, I kind of feel sorry for her. So, he did feel sorry for the other guy, but it's
Should have got
crazy.
fired. Said this is the type of thing that heads need to roll for. But see, and that's the thing though. The guy was saying, don't tell nobody because that's what's gonna happen. Right? They're gonna get in
Mm-hmm.
a lot of trouble and everything. But it's like this is 22 M's. Like this is like something has to happen. Like there needs to be so much press in this thing because there needs to be a shakeup so bad for real in Baltimore because it's disgusting. Let's just move on for right now. Okay, so here we
Mm-hmm.
go. Now let me break this scene down and we're gonna talk. All right, so we have Marlo at a co-op meeting. Okay, and he comes in and he tells everyone that he's responsible for Joe's death. But when he explains it, he only means that he's indirectly responsible because, according to his story, he went at Omar with Joe's approval. So, as a consequence, Joe was killed because Omar came at those closest to him meaning Marlo. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all already know Slim was not trying to hear this. He knows that he's full of crap, especially because he knows that Prop Joe would have never okayed somebody to go at Omar, especially when he said, I'd let sleeping dogs lie, right? But anyway, Marlo uses this story to enlist more help in finding Omar, and he tells the co-op that the bounty has been doubled. So I think it was 100,000, right? So that's on Omar's head now, 100,000. And so when they asked about the connect, Marlo lets them know that he has that covered. Now, this confirms that he was the one who did Joe, all right? Because two of the guys already mentioned before the meeting that whoever has the connect is the one that did Joe. So we saw those two guys kind of looking at each other and everything, right? And so,
Right.
anyway, guys, Marlo, he conducts the meeting and he tries to give Slim hungry man's territory, but Slim refuses and says that he ain't the CEO type. So Marlo gives it to Cheese. And of course, Cheese accepts it with no freaking problems, right? Then Marlo tells them that the price of the brick is going up, and he's not interested in having any meetings while Omar's out. We not gonna have no more meetings. Just if anybody has a problem, just bring it to me or sit on it or whatever. Plus, I ain't one for the meetings like that anyway. So go ahead, Moochie. How did you feel about all of this, my love? Mm,
Well,
mm,
let's talk about them walking into this meeting and
mm,
they saying whoever got the connect is the
mm,
one that took out Prop
mm,
Joe.
mhm,
So they was already prepared to find out who was who. And it was like, you remember that game to tell the truth, and the person be like, I'm so and so, I'm so and so. If
mhm,
I felt like Marlo did that kind of to tell the truth moment,
mm,
where he got up. If y'all wondering, it's me with his cocky self.
mhm,
So I was just pissed with that. And once Slim Charles gave up that position, and he saw how Cheese took it. He thought about what Prop Joe said, and he already knew that it was him from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
But Prop Joe didn't want to make no moves because he wanted more evidence. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he is feeling a kind of way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But you see, when I first listened to it, I said, this guy got balls coming up in here saying that he's responsible for Joe's death.
Mhm.
But that's
Mhm.
not how he said it. Because when I went back to listen to it, I said, oh, he's not saying it like he's the one who deleted him. He's
Nah, he
saying it
was trying
like,
to make it look like
yeah,
Marlo did it. I mean,
yeah,
what am I saying?
like
Omar did
Omar,
it.
right? He's trying to make it seem like it's because he went at Omar, and so
And
as a get back, Joe got it as
but they
because
know he's lying.
right, of course. Who knows he's lying most of all is Slim, because Slim was right there knowing daggone well he didn't give him the okay. But then
Mhm.
once he said, I got the connect, it sealed it for them two guys that came in, Rick and that other
Yeah.
dude. It sealed it. They looked at each other like, mm-hmm. So we
Mhm.
already know. So it don't even matter that he's coming up in here with this freaking cockamamie story about, oh, it was my fault that Prop Joe is dead. Please, because I
Everybody
went.
saw right through him.
Mm-hmm, because I
He's telling
went
this lie, but everybody saw right through him.
right. And so here's the thing with that whole trying to give the thing to Hungry Man. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
trying to the hungry man's territory to Slim Charles. I think Marlo knew that Slim Charles was gonna say no, because
Mhm.
when he comes to these meetings, he looks around, he's very observant, and he sees everybody's demeanor. He sees how Slim Charles is, and he sees how Cheese is. He know Cheese is a hungry, grimy ninja, right? So he already
Mhm.
knew that he was going to give the territory to Cheese. He just offered it to Slim, I believe, as a way to make him not look obvious that Cheese has something to do with giving up his uncle, and which would mean that he had something to do with killing um Prop Joe. That's what, like, it's a whole game that Marlo is playing. That's how I'm looking at it. So I just
Right.
kind of feel like, because he's been very observant, he knew daggone well Slim was not going to accept that position, because he already tried the situation before, and Slim
Mhm.
Charles said no. Remember that? Remember when he came into the meeting and was like, why not give somebody else a try? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Charles was like, no, like, and then of course Cheese was the one that has something to say. So he already knows how it would have went down. But anyway,
Right.
guys, he's just too freaking much. But anyway, oh, thank you, Eric S. So anyway, did you want to say anything else about this, or can we move on?
Cheese pissed me off this scene too with his
Yeah,
cockiness.
I know. I just want to smack him with his fine freaking. I want to say fine A, but I'm not gonna curse. I can't
Mhm.
stand him. So annoying.
With his fine self.
Yeah. I can't stand his fine self.
Just
So,
go check out his Instagram with him working out.
oh my gosh, let's not do
Mm.
this.
Good to look at. Nice to look at.
Let's not do this. Okay, anyway, so streets need a homeless body. Okay, streets need a homeless body. Streets need a body. Okay, so McNulty tells Freeman that they ain't getting no surveillance or nothing, right? Because of their homeless markings. Like, they're not getting nothing new. Remember how they thought they were about to get all the money and all of that?
Mhm.
No, not at all. Nothing's about to happen. It ain't happening. So they was like, so that means that we need to, like, they need another body, right?
Mhm.
So we gonna see where they gonna go with that. But we're gonna move on to the next scene where Omar creeps up on Rick, and he holds him at a Heineken point. So he's got like a Heineken bottle or something like that to his back, trying to act like it's a Thule, and he tells Rick to tell Marlo that he's looking for him, and just like a bee, he ain't nowhere to be found, right? So he takes Rick's, Hammer. Let's do that. So
Mhm.
as Omar is leaving, Rick asks him if he killed Joe and Hungry Man. And when Omar scoffed at this, Rick was like, I ain't think so. So did you want to add anything extra? Because this is just kind of like a little.
But that was the confirmation that they needed, so they
Mm-hmm.
know that it was Marlo.
Yeah, it's a double
But
confirmation because they already knew
yeah.
from him having to connect.
Mhm.
This is double confirmation for him.
And then for
So
him to say, "I thought so."
hmm yeah, I didn't think so. Cause he just looked at him like please, like the heck
Mhm.
I need to do that for. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so guys, Bunk has had enough. Okay, like he is not playing anymore. Like he's about to start looking at everything, right? And he says that he's going to run every name that they develop through the entire database, okay? And we also see Michael's file comes up, right? His file is ran, and the fatal beating of his stepfather comes up as well. And even though it might not be any relation to Marlo, he doesn't care. He's going to work it anyway because he's like, they ain't giving me nothing, so I might as well just dive into every freaking thing. And the funny thing about this is he is barking up the right daggone tree. That's the crazy thing.
Right.
And so then he goes and I mean, honestly, the way she looks, how terrible she looks, it's hard to believe that this is this beautiful woman from P Valley, Farrah, the coach's wife. It's hard to believe because she looks horrible as a crack.
You still can't get past that, can you?
I really can't. This is the beautiful chocolate Farrah. Like, what are we? This is insane to me. Okay, but you could always make somebody look all toe up. It don't, you just look her hair, make her hair look bad, make her lips
Mhm.
white. You know what I mean? So whatever. All right, so Bunk he goes to talk to Michael's mother, and she tells him that it's not her that he needs to talk to, right? It's the boy, meaning Michael, because he is the one running with Snoop and Chris, right? And he told her, meaning Michael, he told me that Devar wasn't coming home before we even knew he was dead. Cause he was threatening her too. Like this is his whole MO now. When he's coming at these people, we came at Randy, try to intimidate Randy. He tried to intimidate her because he was saying like it's a crime of passion, and normally behind a crime of passion, it's a woman involved. And she's like, I ain't have nothing to do with it. This and that and the third. And I promise you. And that's when she said, you need to be talking to the boy.
Talking to the boy.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to the boy. He running with them.
Yep. And then he was like, "Who are you? Who is them?" She said, "Chris and Snoop. Who else are around here doing all the deletions?" I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh!" So now he can actually see, like, "Dag, I'm over." The moment I decide to dig deep and thinking that it might not land me nowhere, look what the heck done
Look
happened.
where it led me, right?
Uh huh.
But that's Bunk working a murder.
Yep, exactly. Like he told
Just like he told McNulty.
McNulty. He said, "That's what I do. I don't make up stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what I
He's
do."
highly offended at what McNulty's doing.
Oh, he is
Highly
because it's getting
offended.
in the way of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even later
Taking
on,
Kima off her good
yep.
cases.
Even later on, when we see, because I don't have it covered here, but later on, we see he tried to go down to the lab, with the same case for what's his name, Devar, the stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said that the homeless Merkings are taking priority over this, so he can't even get his. It's just a shame, and this whole thing is fake, and it's taking priority over everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fake. Even though I said that already.
I know.
It's so sad. All right. So anyway, we also find out that Freeman, he figures out that Marlo is communicating through pictures. Like Marlo and his crew, they're communicating through pictures. That's what that whole static thing is about. That's where that whole like if a call comes through or something, it looks like a call is coming through and they don't hear anything for 30 seconds. It's because they're looking at pictures. We don't know what yet, right? And it's gonna be hard because they can't get no surveillance, but they got who's out there? Sidners out there taking pictures
Mm-hmm.
of folks. So this
Because
is
they
all like,
couldn't even get extra people to put on a
Exactly.
detail.
One man is doing like this is crazy. So you got Sidner out in the streets taking pictures, and you got Freeman inside, listening. So it's like, yo, this is really, really crazy. All right. And like I was talking about before, um, we're moving on to Chris. He's like taking things hard. We see also that like he is really bothered by the fact that they gotta go into hiding and he's away from his kids, right? His family. And Snoop is saying, why don't we just, go get a bunch of toys and take them to your kids and everything? He said, why would I do that with Marlo? I mean, Omar, he's on us, right? And so I'm gonna lead him right
Mm-hmm.
to my family. And she's like, how they gonna know where you at? Or how they gonna know where your family is at? How do
And
we
he's
know
like, how
where?
we find the blind guy?
Exactly. Like, think, man, oh man. Sometimes you really need
He
more than
throwing
one
that knife
person.
into the floor. He misses
Yes.
babies.
Yes, he was throwing the knife. And it's hard for her too, I guess, because she's just sitting there like, oh my gosh, I gotta be with this miserable ninja all day, all night in this place, no TV, no nothing. While he
Mm-hmm.
throwing the knife into the floor. Shoot, this is scary. She wasn't scared, but I'm just saying, like, you never know. Like, over here throwing a knife into the floor. I mean, come on. So, guys, McNulty gets a call from a DOA, but when he gets there, everybody's there. Okay, so a sergeant, a shift commander, we hear the duty officer is on his way, and so the quote is, "Now a DOA call brings everyone in a heartbeat." So this whole thing is really putting salt. Oh my god, it's throwing salt in their game, their whole plan. What's his name? McNulty and Freeman's plan about trying to get a body because the whole thing was for the guy, their hookup guy, to call whenever there's a body. And he did call, but
Yeah.
they beat him down there. So
Yeah, but this is what's going on because the way he was lying
yeah.
is making matters worse
Mm-hmm.
because he's got so many eyes on the case now.
Right. And he shouldn't have tried to like make it national or I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. He probably should have waited on that one. He probably should have had a few more deletions or something like that. I
Right.
don't know, because he just might be a little too premature. Oh well. Okay, so let's see. So now this is where McNulty is telling Freeman that he's a supervisor's nightmare just because Freeman keeps saying that they need more. Like McNulty is like, I give you this, I give you that, then you say you need this, you say that I give you this, then you say you need that. I mean, it's kind of true, but at the same time I felt like McNulty was a little nervy with this because it's like he got on your bandwagon, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
to help you with this
He,
whole thing.
you know what pissed me off with him with this scene?
Mm,
You really act like you the dude with the golden keys right now. Even though you
yeah,
really are, but like now you're sounding cocky.
right. Talking about you're really a supervisor's nightmare. So
Mm-hmm.
he's letting Lester know that like it says he can't juke this thing any more than he has, and they can't make another deletion. So they are between a rock and a hard place, right? And it just is what it is. Like what is Freeman supposed to do? If he's asking you for one thing and you give him another thing, but y'all don't have the manpower or anything to work it. And look, and also remember, Freeman didn't know that Marlo was gonna start using phones. So now
Exactly.
it made it threw a wrench in the game. Like it's not his fault. So yeah, and they're using pictures. So now they need computers or whatever he said that they need.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his fault at all. He trying to do whatever he can, but man, they at a loss as far as I'm concerned. Mm. So, do you want to talk about this crazy war story from this Marine named Terry? He tells Scott that he has PTSD and all of this from a situation where, like, there was like a bomb that blew up in one of the driver's hands. Like, he just had no hands. Like, look, no
My no
hands.
hands.
Yeah, no
Mm-hmm.
hands, man. Like the song. So, did you want to say anything about this whole little scene here?
The details that he gave to Templeton was like he was reliving the whole issue. So
Mm,
he remembers every detail of everything. So
Mm,
that's what I picked up most from this conversation.
right. And the thing about it is when he runs this story, Gus was like, wow, this is really good. This feels like the real thing. Did you catch that? Like, this
Mm-hmm.
feels like the real thing because everything else that you've been given is some crap, So, and he said it's like you just let it be, like you let the guy tell the story for himself, and that's because it's a real story. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything else is fake, so it's almost like for him to when he brought something
Gus
real
see
to the
right through
table.
him.
Yeah,
Gus see right through him.
when he brought something real to the table and you compare it to all the other stuff, it's just like, yep, just like I thought. Like this freaking guy.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, let's move on since we're talking about Gus, right? He gets a complaint about a story that he wrote a couple of weeks ago. A story that Scott wrote a couple of weeks ago about a woman who died of an allergic reaction to seafood, right? Gus
Mm-hmm.
tells Scott to go back and check with the family to make sure that the scholarship fund for the kids really went to the kids, because the story is that because that story got so much attention, the news made a lot, the paper, I guess, what made a lot of money from it or something like that.
Right,
And
and
the
they wanted to
kids,
make sure the person that was supposed to get the money got
right,
what
got
they
the
got.
money, and they saying that the sister or somebody like that went and blew it on the casino and stuff. And
Mm-hmm. In
so
Atlanta City.
right, and so when he goes back, and I don't really want to dwell too much on this because I just want to see what happens, but when he goes back, uh we didn't even see him check on this.
Mm-mm.
He just tells Gus that, oh yeah, it's just a story that she, there's your line that the lady is good and all this crap, right? So
Oh yeah, I checked it out. It's
yeah.
made me sick. Oh yeah, I checked it out. They're saying that she's just saying she got the money, but she
Right.
really did. I'm like, what?
And she's a good lady, this and that. um I'm like, you know what, we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see where this goes, because I can't with him anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
just
He done
freaking
told
can't.
so he went. We don't call him so many lies so far.
Yeah, I just can't. So McNulty, he takes a homeless guy uh off the street, right? And we're gonna get to that in a minute. But first, Rhonda, she brings the files of the sealed indictments to Bonds and lets him know that they have a leak. So we shall see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But like back to McNulty. So, he brings this homeless man to Freeman, and he's just out of it. Like this homeless guy is not a regular homeless man. Like you can tell he is someone who has developmental disabilities, and like his mind is just gone.
Yeah, he can't even control his
He
movements.
can't. And when he was trying to eat that sandwich, because McNulty winds up taking him out of state to a home, like a homeless shelter. I think it's at Richmond. And so
Mm-hmm.
his sandwich fell out of his
Oh, I thought he
hand.
took him to Cleveland.
Well, it said he's from Cleveland, from that
Mm-hmm.
unless it's Richmond, Cleveland.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
I thought it was Richmond, Virginia he took him to, but whatever, neither here nor there. They're saying that he was from Cleveland because he took that other dude's ID and
Oh, okay.
trying to make it seem like he was the other dude. Remember, his name was Larry, and then when he got to the place,
He knew his name.
McNulty was telling him that his name is Donald or something, or Donnie, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that was the name of the other idea, the other dude that they
Right.
found, the other homeless guy. So yeah, Eric said it was Cleveland was his place of origin. It was the place of origin for that other dude, the one on
Mm-hmm.
the ID. But I
Right.
think this place was in Richmond, Virginia. But anyway, regardless, um he feels bad. Like you can see that something's going on with him, because he's like, how do you know, like, I mean, is it okay, can I do something else, do I need to do anything else? Because the guy just was looking terrible and sad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That is just weird. So, anyway, did you want to say anything? Because this is how the scene ends. I mean, the show, the episode ends like this, where he's walking out, you know?
Yeah, but this guy is a major part of his case, kind of.
Mm.
He's using him as you know,
Yeah, because the plan is that they're gonna try to use him instead of showing bodies. He trying to disappear him and make it
mm-hmm.
seem like the guy's gonna start calling with pictures and
Oh,
saying this is what's gonna happen, and then you'll never see that homeless person again. So you're
mm-hmm.
gonna go hide and or whatever. So Eric says, but how did you know they went to Richmond homeless shelter? Because it said it on the
It said
when he
it on
was
the
leaving on
thing,
it said it on the door, like when he was
on
leaving
the
out.
door when he walked out. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So, just me trying to pay attention to certain things. But yeah, so we're gonna see where this goes. And I don't know, guys. We're about to go into episode 7. How many episodes do you know how many episodes the season has? Is it 12 or
Ooh,
13?
I think it's. I
Hmm.
think it's. Hold on, let me look right now. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
right now. Just give me 1 second.
Look at this poor. I love when Lester says, "Look at this poor sucker." A very retro term. Yeah. Oh, Marlon Easton said 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
10.
1,000 times.
So we got two more left.
Oh my God. Wait, we got 8, 9, 10. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. We got 7, 8, 9, 10.
7,
We got
8,
four.
9, 10.
We got
Three
four
more
more.
left.
4 more left.
Ow!
Huh? What happened?
Mm-mm, just a bug bit me.
Uh-oh.
Mosquito
Oh. I
on
watched
my
this a
ankle.
thousand
They got my
times and
ankle.
missed that sign. Oh wow. You are one of the 1,000 times watchers. Tell that boy he ain't man enough to come down to the street with Omar. That was a cold line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yes, 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 yes. All right. What's up, you queen? So we're about to get out of here, Moochie. What would you rate this episode, my love?
I would rate it this episode so far because it's a build-up episode. I
Hmm.
would give it like a 7.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I'm very interested. I almost, one at one point there was a time where some of the episodes were so good that I was
You
just
want to go ahead,
watching.
right?
Yeah, I went ahead like a few times. I don't know if it was this season or I think it was last season. It was, and I just went on ahead. But then it's like I noticed that it was getting in the way of me reviewing one episode because
Mm-hmm.
my memory for the next episode would seep into it. So I was like, I can't do that no
Yeah.
more. Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to do that. So I haven't done that with this one really, but all right, guys. So we're about to get out of here. We thank you so much for coming, and we're gonna see what McNulty is up to next week. No, is it next week? No, it's Sunday. Gonna see what he's up to, guys. When we come back here on Sunday, we're gonna see what where Bunk goes. I mean, it's a lot going on here. And also this freaking liar, this huge liar, Scott. We are going to see what the heck happens because I am totally like, I want to know, like, is folks going to get in trouble? That's all I need to know, child. I cannot wait to find out. But you guys have a wonderful and blessed evening. A good night. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. Moochie, what are you doing on your channel before we leave? Because, I haven't been hearing anything, my love.
I am doing winning some, and I also have a theory pack coming out tomorrow. Sometime, if not tomorrow, it'll be Thursday during the day because I'm
Okay.
still away. I'll be back tomorrow.
Awesome, awesome. And also for me, I'm gonna I'm gonna try to do a video where I'm going over the trailer for Force. I normally don't do that, but I'm just trying to kick out more videos instead of the lives. Like I do need to start putting more videos on my channel. That is how I started with my channel, so I definitely gotta get them videos back out, honey. Good night, guys. Good night, Renee Hicks. Eric S. Marlon Easton, your queen, Young Boy 24. I saw Brillo up in here earlier. Let me see Daria and Marcus Vaughn. I think he came through and left. And Inga, hi Inga and Tina. All right, and Samika and Rashonda. All right, guys, take care and be blessed. Bye
Bye.
bye.